How's it going, everybody? I am Dono. We are reacting to Luke Cage Season 1, Episode 11, Now You're Mine. That feels like it's coming from Diamondback's perspective. That's really my main guess. It could be coming from Luke's perspective, to Diamondback. Now that I'm here, you're mine. Now that I don't know. It feels more like it's coming from Diamondback, so that's my guess. If you want to see the full length, check it out on the Patreon. $4 a month. Let's get into it. Okay, so we had to get it. Every one of the Netflix series seems to do this, so I feel like we're gonna get it for all of them.
Okay.
The bottle episode, they seem to really enjoy doing the bottle. I mean, like, plenty of stuff does the bottle episode, but it's been very consistent with this. But yeah, I actually really enjoy it. I actually tend to not enjoy bottle episodes in general.
Okay.
But I would say of the ones that we've gotten for the Netflix shows, I've enjoyed all of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I the same way with this one here. It also, last episode and this episode, felt like they were deserving of the length they were at. If not, they could have even been more. Like this one, I still felt like, oh, okay. I wasn't even expecting it in there. I was expecting another, like, 20 minutes or whatever. I wasn't exhausted yet by the end of it.
But yeah, like, I think, especially Harlem's Paradise, like, I don't know if we're coming back to Harlem's Paradise after this.
Yeah, that's more of like send-off.
Yeah. Which, if that's the case, like, it's a really good set. I'm glad we really got to explore all of it this time around.
Yeah. Like, it's become such a big set piece. Like, is there another place in the MCU that has had, as big of a use as Harlem's Paradise?
Oh, I genuinely
don't know. You can say like Hell's Kitchen or something, but like a building,
Like, we've definitely spent more time at Harlem's Paradise than I think we've spent at Nelson Murdoch. Like, we kind of just, like, blip in every once in a while.
And even that, I didn't even think of that as a set piece, but that's still kind of like, even Avengers HQ, like, whichever version of it you want to count, I, right now, have seen less of it than I have Harlem's Paradise.
Yeah, genuinely.
So, yeah, if you want to even include it as, like, the hideouts and stuff like that, not just, like, set fight pieces or plot set pieces, but...
I don't think we've had a set that we've consistently been on that much.
Maybe the, what am I trying to say? The base for S.H.I.E.L.D., what is it called? Providence? Or, the original... What was before S.H.I.E.L.D.? Was it the...
SSR?
Yeah, SSR.
Oh, yeah, the SSR offices.
The SSR offices. I probably see more of the SSR offices, and, in order, probably, SSR offices, Province...
Okay.
Original S.H.I.E.L.D. Well, there wasn't really... I guess the bus, I mean.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess there's a few things, if we're talking about, like, hideouts, but in terms of, like, a plot set place, like, where fights happen a lot, where a lot of, people have died here and things have happened, it's not like it's just been a chill hideout location like the barbershop or something. But yeah, as a fight set piece, I think this is, like, the most, I don't know, in like, real one that's felt.
Yeah.
I don't know. That makes sense. But yeah. A lot of times we're just, like, going to some cool place for a fight.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, this one felt very obvious. Like, yeah, if we're going to have a final fight, it's got to be at, or not a final fight, but if we're going to have, like, a big climactic fight. Like, this is the big, everything was coming to a head. Everybody was showing up here. It stops now. This was the big climactic fight, even if it's not the final fight. Which, I mean, we had that as well with Jessica and Kilgrave. You usually get the big climactic fight before you get the final fight.
Yeah.
I feel like. But yeah, so, where do we want to go in terms of the actual episode itself? Well, first off, did you enjoy it as a bottle episode?
I did. Like, I also didn't even think of it as a bottle episode because we were cutting out and stuff. But, like, just within the general vicinity.
Yeah, just the whole episode was about Harlem's Paradise.
Yeah.
A bottle episode doesn't necessarily have to be you're only following these characters in that room, but, like, it could still, just within this building or even outside the building, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, like, honestly, well, most zombie movies are just, like, I would call bottle episode, movies.
Okay.
Like, they're all taking place within one area, even if it's not like, you know, you can be cutting around and stuff, but I would still consider that a bottle episode. In the same way that I would still consider this a bottle episode. Okay. But I can see how somebody could argue and say it's not a true bottle episode unless it's just the entire time in one room. You never leave that room.
Right.
I could see somebody saying that, sure. But I have a much looser definition.
Yeah. Or I'd say most bottle episodes have a transition to the room and then out of the room. Like at the beginning and end of the episode.
Sure. Yeah, whereas this one started and ended same place.
Yeah.
I mean, well, like outside still, but around the area. So, where do we want to start with the actual plot sort of stuff?
I want to talk about just the general crime side of things first. Like, you know, Diamondback, everyone there.
Yeah, sure.
So, I was really fascinated with how Shades really started speaking up to Diamondback. Like, for the last little while, I felt this, like, quiet rebellion. Like, he's been pointing out when things are stupid.
Yeah, but really kind of holding his tongue a little bit.
Yeah. Now, like, he's actually standing up to him, and we had the big exchange of, have you forgotten who you're talking to? Have you?
Yeah, which I was like, what? I thought Shay was like a nobody, nothing kind of guy.
We know he came from nothing, and then in the past we've seen him work for Rackham and then later for Diamondback.
Yeah.
And he has
we don't know what he went to Seagate for, whatever. I mean, that has to be big, to be fair.
We also know he has to have some past with Cottonmouth, because when he first shows up and talks to Cottonmouth, he says, I'm with Diamondback now. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Like, they have something.
Huh. Yeah.
And we know it's all his family or anything. Like, Shades came from nothing.
Yeah. I feel like it's got to be whatever he did to get him thrown into Seagate.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he left Harlem's Paradise. I think from Harlem they threw him in Seagate.
Okay.
Like, he did something bad in Harlem, and then they threw him in Seagate. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe not. But, I mean, he grew up in Harlem, so he would have to have left Harlem. And it's not like, you know, you do something bad in Georgia, so they throw you in Seagate.
Right.
Seagate is just a big maximum security prison. It just so happened that it's also in Georgia.
Yeah. Boy, I really loved the "what you talking about, Willis" line.
Oh, yes. That killed me.
It's so, like, it's funny, but it's also so clever. Because it is, like, he is calling out Diamondback by his real name.
Yeah, like, I definitely, when they called it back with the, like, you know, why'd you use my first name? And I was like, oh, damn. Like, they got their nice-ass reference, and then they got to make it work plot-wise, too.
Yeah. I think that is a classic Shades move, in that Shades will say something, but he won't, like, compromise the power structure of your entire organization by doing it.
Yeah. Whereas
Diamondback will just shoot you in the head.
Yeah, he just does not care. Diamondback this episode was, like, with the what you're talking about, Willis line and everything, but just all the characters in Luke Cage are just the most... We have to hit all these lines. If we don't say all these lines by the end of season 2, everybody's gonna complain. Sure, not half these aren't even comic references, but it's just we need to make the classic 70s reference.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And Diamondback specific, Diamondback is so the line where he starts talking about, you know, oh yeah, I'm just freestyling, but I haven't missed a rhyme yet. And he just starts, like, not really rapping, but all, like...
There's a rhythm.
It's so... the like, time where, Damon is, like, flipping through the Bible and, like, seeing how annotated, like, oh yeah, he does read this every single day.
Yeah, it's so marked up.
It is he's such a great example of a chaotically crazy character. Like... He doesn't... It's so hard to describe the character of Diamondback because he is all over the place in a great way. He seems to be someone who's just incredibly influenced by everything around him. Like, I do think it may be a personal thing that he is extremely influenced by media, I mean, he talks about actual media a lot, too, and, like, actors and stuff like that he thought was cool. The line where he said, what was he talking about? He said something specifically this episode of, I thought, I'm Not My Brother's Keeper was,
right, it's...
or no, was that line or was it a different line he was talking about? I thought that was some...
No, I think it was
just
My
cool
Brother's
shit.
Keeper. Where he said, I thought that was just in a movie. I forget which movie it
was.
was.
Okay, so it was that line that he said. It was just funny. But yeah, so I think he is, honestly, influenced by a lot of movies, a lot of classic... he is the 70s action hero brought to real life as a, like, this is a problem.
Sure.
You know, it's fun when it's in a campy movie, but you bring it to a real life scenario and they're a villain.
Right.
It's an interesting take on that.
I think he's also like sort of a reverse Cottonmouth in the sense that Cottonmouth was very good when he had a very structured plan, but every time he had to kind of like come up with something on the spot, it fell apart. Like it was always bad.
Yeah.
Whereas it seems like Diamondback is only good at freestyling.
I mean, it's working for him on a very tight-ropey kind of way.
Yeah, I mean that is freestyling though.
Yeah.
Because putting away Luke in Seagate was a structured plan. It didn't work. He came out with powers. Sure. Everything he did with Cottonmouth was a structured plan.
Well,
it fell
do we know
apart.
if that was his plan? We don't know if that was his plan.
He claimed it was his plan.
He
said it was all me.
Yeah, he said it was all me, but that could just mean involvement in it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, again, talking about Diamondback being so wild and out there, so many facets of his personality, I love him just being like, Reva's death, this, that. Well, not Reva's death. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah.
He's so weird.
So, he used the last Judas bullet he had, like, and he missed.
Yeah.
So, either he has more somewhere else, or maybe he's going to just use the Judas 2.0s.
Yeah, I think we're going to be using the Judas 2.0s, and that's going to be a way of, like, it's going to hit Luke and hurt a lot, but not in it, which, again, I don't know how they're going to do that, because Luke has not been great about showing pain so far.
Right.
Except for being shot by the Judas bullets.
Yeah.
But that's like a... even then, it's, sometimes he just gets back up and he seems fine.
I'm also not sure how you downgrade the effect of the Judas bullet. Like, the reason it works is because it hits, and then it drills in, and then it explodes.
Like, it could dent him. Like, we know that, like, when we see the Hulk get hit by bullets, he's super dented up afterwards.
Sure.
Like, it's a very clear... they do so much of a better job of bullets hitting and bouncing off of Hulk, and clearly they hurt him.
Right.
Whereas... in Luke Cage, it doesn't seem like they hurt him or he feels them at all, but he should be.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very strange. But, yeah, so I think that might be what they're gonna do. I don't know if they can pull it off, but, with effects-wise, but if they can make it look like Hulk getting hit by bullets, I assume that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah. I hope it's not Hulk being hit by bullets, though. Like, the big selling point of the bullets is not that they penetrate Luke, but that they can dig their way in.
Yeah.
And also, like, the big Sparky effect.
Well, I don't think it's going to be a thing. I think he's just going to be doing it out of necessity.
Sure.
I think it's just going to be keeping him away. Honestly, I think the main fight's just going to be the gloves.
Okay.
Well, the one glove, I guess. It seems fitting that we have two, but I guess he's just going to have the one.
Maybe. It also, like, he does have to plug them in, it seems, to, like, charge them back up.
I think it's just to use them he has to have them plugged in.
Oh, yeah, the backpack.
The backpack,
yeah. Okay. Oh, boy, he's gonna look real wonky.
He's gonna be fighting with a backpack on.
While screaming, I'm Luke Cage.
That's why he's Diamondback.
Oh,
Diamond Backpack.
Oh, no, I hate that. I don't want that to be the case.
My name is Diamond Backpack.
So, we got the, not even a drop, just like a slight historical thing, that, the building that is Harlem's Paradise was once owned by Lucky Luciano, who is best known for inventing the American mob, or the current American mob.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I do know who that is, then.
Yeah. He founded the Genovese crime family. Yeah. So, now we have not a full timeline, but we know he had it for a while, maybe the Genovese family had it for a bit, and then at some points, Mama Mabel got it.
Like, yeah, this place is old as hell.
Yeah.
God damn. It goes back a long way. Super big crime building. Always crime.
Always crime.
But it really felt like a thing, like, yeah, Mama Mabel built it.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, not the case. I didn't even think about that line, like, didn't even register to me as, like, a, oh, that's a big reel, actually.
Yeah. So, Shades makes sense, even though he's overall wrong about, how dangerous it is that the cops are gonna break in at any point, but his logic isn't wrong. Like, the cops were going to break in way earlier if, I can never remember her name, if Ridley hadn't been saying, please, no, do not go in.
Yeah.
And at the same time, like, they should have had some trouble escaping, but I think he may have not known about the VIP entrance, perhaps?
It seems like not, no.
Yeah, because they escaped using the VIP entrance, which seems to come out of another building.
I guess. But it's also, like, the cop... we're gonna get to the cops later, but, like, boy howdy. That is probably the most suspension of disbelief I've had to have in Luke Cage, that nobody is watching this exit.
I mean, there's a whole crowd of civilians there. It's like it's on exit to Harlem's Paradise. It looks like it's a separate building.
Still, though, like, they know... Well, I guess they're not looking for Diamondback. Like, Misty knows, and she just said they're looking for Diamondback. But, you know...
And no one knows what Diamondback looks like.
Yes, they do.
Do they?
They have the images of him as, you know,
Do
as,
Luke Cage?
No, as, his real name, Willis Stryker.
I don't think that's been shared at all.
Okay, maybe not.
And Diamondback's been, like, repeatedly stating, you know, make sure no one sees my face.
Yeah. But, like, she's at least gone through the system. She has said, I know that the man who is behind all this is Willis Stryker. And his face and name is in the database.
But she only brings that up completely, like, when she's on the stretcher talking to Ridley.
Well, she says that about Diamondback's involvement in all this, sure. But, like, she told him about, or Misty told her captain, Ridley, about Diamondback. Before that, I assume she, maybe she didn't see him, well, whatever. But either way, it feels so convenient.
I can buy it.
I think I'd buy it more if it was a back entrance or something, rather than just, like, right out in the front. Especially, like, okay, sure, they don't know it's not Diamondback, but, like, Zip has gotta be one of the most famous faces in Harlem at this point.
True.
How does every cop in Harlem not know Zip?
That's a good point. Zip is pretty high profile.
Yeah. And, like, it's a black Escalade.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was a bit much for me.
Okay.
But,
I can see it.
yeah. Gotta have the skedaddle. I've gotten used to every series has to have the fucking skedaddle.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be very hard for any series to make it make sense. But, where Shades got arrested.
Shades got arrested.
That happened.
He was the one saying, we gotta get out and we might get arrested. Nah.
I honestly kind of feel bad for him. I was starting to feel bad for him, knowing that he was probably about to get, you know, arrested here and get taken in, Diamondback was getting it away. But seeing him fight made me be like, I don't care. Don't feel sorry for him anymore. He fights like a video game boss.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, punch, stand still, wait, get hit. Okay, now it's my turn. He is so bad at fighting, it's embarrassing, and I don't feel bad for him anymore.
Yeah.
But he just had all this big threatening stuff. Oh, don't you know who I am? But it's like, is anything gonna happen here?
Maybe.
Because, like, do they have any evidence on him at all?
I don't think so.
Yeah, like, I don't think they have. They have, you know, Claire's like an eyewitness maybe, but she's gonna be on the run, so it's not like she's gonna be able to testify.
Yeah.
And not, yeah, I don't know.
And it doesn't seem like the police are going to accept anything Misty says. Like, Ridley's already been, like, stonewalling her every single time she tries to bring up something.
Yeah.
So, this might not go anywhere.
And even, like, now with all this, where she's like, we'll deal with the truth later.
Yeah.
Let's just deal with the false information first. What a terrible way to go.
Yeah. I don't remember if we got his name before, but the big guy of, you know, the trio of normie black guys, Sugar.
Yeah, I think we did get his name before, because we just got, like, all three of their names when they walked in, I believe.
Maybe.
At the very least, I'm pretty sure we got his name Sugar before. Not that I ever fucking remembered any of their names other than Zip.
Boy.
But, go ahead, what were you going to say first?
Just that Sugar really needs to get out of this. He's not suited for it.
I don't even want to say, like, Sugar, Zip, they're all... It was so fascinating seeing how the criminals were holding the hostages versus how the police were treating freed hostages.
Yeah.
Where it's like, the police were being more rude, more aggressive towards the freed hostages than the criminals were at gunpoint. And it was wild. I also can't believe that, you know, like, these criminals are so not awful people. Like, even Diamondback was, and I'm not trying to say they're good people or anything, but, like, it was very funny to me, where it was like, Sugar came back up and he's like, oh shit, sorry, I let the nurse go, and I let this other one, you know, I basically got tricked. I got had, whatever.
Sure. And
then their reaction was just, damn it, Sugar, go away. It was like, I really expected them to shoot him. And they've been shooting people left and right. I mean, it's like, damn it, Sugar.
I think if Shades hadn't told Sugar to leave, he would have gotten shots.
Probably.
Diamondback is the one who shoots everyone.
It was also, like, Candy. I don't don't know what her plan was, where she was like, pretend you're passed out, and then pretend to wake back up, and everything will be fine. Like, shouldn't she have pretended to stay passed out? Why did she try to wake back up? Ah, Candy ruined everything. What else do we have about the crime side of things inside?
We, of course, had Diamondback playing Son of a Preacher Man while he explained his backstory.
Oh, yeah.
I honestly did not like that scene.
Really?
Like, the first half felt very pointless. It was him just saying what we already knew, again. And I get, like, you know, he had to set up for Boone, but he didn't, narratively wise. He's crazy. He could have just jumped into the second half. It would have been fine.
Yeah, that's a good point. I really liked it just because I like anytime Diamondback's mouth is open. I enjoy anytime Diamondback says anything. But yeah, I don't know. I loved all the Boone stuff, how tense it was, and I didn't know where we were going with it or what we were going to do there. I didn't know if he was just going to kill him or if he was going to, you know, Boone was going to be able to do something while they were out, because he was alone in the room for a bit. I was like, did he have another plan? Did he do something? You know, it's very tense the whole time for me. But yeah, the talk itself, it was a lot of stuff we had already known. I just like hearing him talk.
Sure. Can't fault you for that one.
Yeah, and I get all the religious stuff a lot more now that I know that he's been reading the book every single day, going through it every single day. Like, makes a lot more sense. Sorry, not that it makes a lot more sense, but that I care more thematically rather than just like, he's also the son of a preacher, so he's more into religion.
Right. It's. I also do not think Son of a Preacher Man fits him or Luke.
I mean, I didn't hear any of the actual lyrics, so, other than the chorus.
So, I mean, it's a pretty old song. The song's basically about a girl who is falling in love with the son of a preacher man. Like, every, like, once in a while, the preacher comes over to her parents' house, and then the son comes out, and then they date. And it's all about, like, how she can only open up to the son of a preacher man. Like, he's the only guy who's ever managed to, like, break through to her. Which, both Diamondback and Luke are very hard. Like, they don't break through to other people. People break through into them.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were just trying to go for the chorus.
I get it. But, like, with how chosen a lot of the songs are, it stood out to me. Like, I'm not sure if we're doing anything there or not.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's just the chorus line.
Fair. So, Punching Gloves, definitely electric powered.
Yeah.
Not sure if they do, like, shock people and cause them to fly back, or if it's just a power thing. I feel like it's just a power thing now.
It feels like it's gotta be. It feels like, well, I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure if we're ever getting an explanation of it. It's shock force, whatever. It's shock force.
Because I was thinking about it, and depending on how Luke works, like, if it is electrocuting him, like, last episode we talked about how, like, when you get electrocuted, it isn't the electricity shooting you backwards, it's all of your muscles. So, if Luke were to do that, he'd probably fly through a building.
True, yeah.
But downside...
Doesn't seem like that's probably going to happen, though.
Yeah. I mean, downside also, we don't know if electricity is going to go into Luke's body or not.
Yeah.
He's got the hard skin.
It's a good point. We don't know if electricity harms him at all. Do we? Have we ever seen that?
I don't think so.
Guess not, no.
So it is a big, like, will it work, won't it work?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That it might not work.
Got the very clear contrast at the end of the episode with Luke saying he always liked Willis's mom, and Willis, of course, saying he hated Luke's mom.
Yeah, I don't even know if that was like a specifically like, oh, Luke likes his mom and Willis doesn't like his mom. More of like a, Luke was willing to say, I always liked your mom.
Yeah.
Whereas Willis would not. Willis is the super petty, just, your mom's a bitch.
Yeah.
Like, whatever their actual opinions were, Luke being able to, you know, take the upper ground and say, like, yeah, I always liked your mom.
Yeah. Also, Claire stepped on Shade's shades.
Yeah.
So, I'm curious to see if they're going to develop a rivalry or anything there. Or if it was just a, hey, you getting arrested, I'm going to step on your glasses.
Yeah, I honestly don't think Shade's coming back. We might get more, like, info on him, but I don't think he's coming back, honestly. I think they done with Shades. I think they didn't know what they wanted to do with Shades too much. I think Shades is more of a character that was helping a lot of other people become cooler villains.
Okay.
They could do some more interesting stuff with him, but I don't know.
Like, in Luke Cage, prison is not a place you go to stop existing.
No.
Prison is a place you go to be safe for a while the story progresses, and you come back out.
Yeah.
So, I don't think we're getting any more Shades this season. Maybe he'll come back in season 2. Maybe, I was thinking of, like, Claire stepping on his glasses specifically because maybe he'll show up in one of the other series.
Maybe, yeah, that could work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't see him coming back out.
Yeah.
I don't.
There's enough, like, weird hints at his backstory to make me feel like we're getting a little more.
I feel like we could get more of that, but I don't feel like he needs to be out of prison for that.
Okay.
You can get flashback with him still in prison.
Sure. Alright, so on the police side of things.
Boy, you take it away here. I talked so much about the police stuff.
Yeah.
All these reactions.
Yeah.
I'm going to be treading over territory if I talk again. Go ahead, you start first.
Alright, so we get the ESU this episode, which is the New York equivalent of the SWAT team. I do appreciate how it feels like in the second half we've been getting a new part of the police every episode, and then we get to see, like, okay, what is this person like?
Yeah.
Or what is this group like?
Yeah.
They were so ready to bust and start shooting.
Yeah, or they're just like immediately like, no, you're not going in. Like, fuck you, we're gonna go in anyway. And like seeing the just different forces of the police all butting heads and all that is just.
I mean, small upside, they had the Judas bullets and they didn't immediately shoot Cage like every other faction does.
Yeah.
So, slight bonus.
Yeah, again though, they were the stupidest police I've ever seen. Like, they go in there and they go so close, right up to Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Like, if Luke wanted to, all he had to do is just go and just spin in a circle, and he would have knocked all their guns flying out of their hands. Like, so dumb. If this actually was a, like, you know, super villain, like, that was the dumbest way they could have possibly gone about that.
Jeez.
Why didn't they stay back a little bit? Give yourself some space. You have guns. Don't circle the fucking man. If you shoot him, you're gonna shoot one of your other guys. That's not how it works. It's so dumb.
It did give me a little more, not respect for Zip, but now I get why all the goons just shoot Luke, because they're being told to shoot Luke. Like, what else are you going to do if your boss says, shoot the superpower man? Are you going to say, no, I'm going to run in and punch him?
Yeah, I do love it. Like, they commented on, like, why is he hiding? Isn't he bulletproof?
Yeah.
While they're shooting him. But it's like, what? I get that they're going after Misty mainly, but then they're like, why is he hiding?
Right.
As in, like, we also want to shoot him. But why do you want to shoot him?
Boy, the whole scene where Misty had, like, the open artery, and then Luke shoves her finger into the artery, that scricked me out so much. I hated it.
This whole episode was so I love Claire, but because Claire is a nurse, every time she's on screen, I'm like, I can't look. The tying off the artery thing was killing me the most.
Oh boy,
that got me so much worse than the finger thing.
Yeah. So first of all, do you think that, like, tying off the artery is going to have any long consequences? Like, do you think we're going to have like a, Misty has to, be in a cast for a while?
I think primarily I don't care. Secondarily,
I see.
Secondarily, it's a real maybe.
No strong feelings.
No strong feelings one way or the other. If I'm gonna have to make a guess, I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
No long-term lasting effects.
All right, fair.
She might be in a cast for like a week or something, but I don't think it's gonna be like long-lasting effects.
Okay, sure. Also, I believe Sugar is the one, like, when Claire is attending to Candy, he's the one who goes, like, hey, night nurse.
Wait,
He calls her night nurse. Or just a night nurse.
Oh, as in the name.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
yes, get into this, whatever.
So, Night Nurse is a, like, long-running Marvel Comics character. She's actually, like, there's actually been multiple Night Nurses. None of them have named Claire Temple.
Okay.
So, this wasn't I think I know what they're going to do with this character. It was, like, from the start, it was I guess she's just a new character. She's an original.
So is the name Claire Temple original?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or at least I believe it is.
I always assumed that Claire was a comic book character, like one of the heaviest. Like, even when I was watching Daredevil season 1 for the first time, I was just like, okay, here's the nurse character.
if she is a character in the comics, and she might also have, been entered into the comics afterwards, not totally sure.
Yeah.
But either way, like, she definitely wasn't a big character or one with, like, a code name or anything.
I mean, well, it explains why she's also been crossing over so much.
Yeah.
Then if she's original, so they can do a lot more with her without people complaining.
So, I won't say much about the character, because, again, we don't even know if that's a thing going forward, or if that's just a sneaky little Power Man reference.
Yeah. Well, is a night nurse from Power Man?
No.
Oh, okay. Why'd you do Power Man reference?
I mean, in the same way that they called Luke Power Man, but he's probably not going to say, I'm Power Man.
Sure. I honestly don't know at this point. I could totally see them going with I am Power Man.
But it was interesting to see.
Let's talk more about the Misty stuff, because
Okay.
the Misty and Claire thing, it wasn't like they were like, oh, these two badass women together. And it's like, yeah, like Claire.
I guess I'm happy that she doesn't have any beef with Misty and vice versa, but I'm not super cool about them as a duo, as a buddy cop duo.
Not a fan.
But, boy, Misty genuinely got me in the heart when she said, I don't want to bleed to death on the Florrick scarf. Like, the delivery, the way she looked, the fact that it looked like she was dying.
Yes, it definitely made me feel a lot more empathetic for Scarf.
Oh no, I hate it.
I definitely, in that moment, went, oh man, I do feel bad for Scarf.
God.
I honestly did. I'm not even making a joke. I did not, that scene did not move me in any emotional way for Misty at all. But it legitimately did pull my heartstrings a little bit for, man, Scarf did, when you put it that way, when it's like his life was just going home, drinking all the time, and then he dies bleeding out on the ground trying to do something good. That got to me a bit.
Okay.
Misty I don't care about. It's always not just because she's a cop. I just think she's just an uninteresting character to me. I'm just not a fan of her character.
So we did get to see Tower from the DA's office again.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. We were talking about that for a while, a couple discussions ago, of because for a second I thought that someone was the DA. I don't remember who I thought was the DA. Harlem.
Yeah.
But first of all, I thought Harlem was a borough. I did not realize that Harlem was a part of Manhattan. I did not realize that. I thought Harlem was honestly so much bigger than it is. I didn't realize actually how small it is comparatively.
Yeah.
Crazy to me. And then also changes so much about my perspective of a lot of the show.
Yeah.
Realizing Harlem is probably 10 times smaller than I thought it was.
Right.
But either way, so we were talking about does New York just have one DA or do they have multiple DAs since it's fucking New York?
I mean, I looked into it, still don't have a concrete answer. The two main sources I looked at said that there is one DA for each of the boroughs. And since Manhattan is a borough, the same DA for Hell's Kitchen would be the same DA for Harlem.
Right.
But,
the thing I found said there was a DA for each of the 62 counties, and then also a DA for each of the boroughs.
Yeah.
But then it's I don't know how that works. I don't know how you have a DA for the borough and then also a DA for the counties within that borough.
I mean, each borough is a different county.
But the one you were showing me...
Yeah. The one I was showing you was there's also a DA that covers all of southern New York, the states, and that is most of that's Manhattan and a bunch of other ones as well. Yeah,
which I'm not sure how that works. And then it should be multiple DAs all for that, but then they only have one listed.
Yeah,
on Wikipedia for that position currently. So I don't get how that works. I have no fucking idea how the DAs work in New York.
Yeah, well, it seems like we're only going to be really focusing on Manhattan so far, in the in not the whole MCU, but mostly. Yeah. So we can just simplify it down to Tower is the DA that we have to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. As long as we just know Tower's the only one we care about, that's all we need to know. That doesn't really need to know what his jurisdiction is.
I was really glad that he brought up the fear of if we give these guns to the police, they're gonna end up on the streets.
Yeah.
And I became the DA because the Punisher murdered the previous DA, which he does not know that's not the case.
Yeah, he has no idea.
Yeah.
But I do like it from thinking about it from his perspective. But it's from a normal person's perspective, that's a good thing. Like, you don't want it on, like, you don't want the military to have this because you just don't want better guns in general.
Right.
But the idea of it's getting out into the street as a bad thing is a good thing. That's the whole point of the Constitution and the Second Amendment.
Right.
But, yeah, like, we don't want to continue. The more you continuously militarize the police, then the more the people are going to have that equipment too. So you're just escalating everybody.
Yeah. So, I went through Diamondback's Bible and I couldn't find anything. Like, I couldn't read anything.
Real quick, before we go to that, still talking about Tower.
Okay.
I appreciate that he wasn't, like, I thought, like, oh, okay, so he is just as corrupt as the last one. You know, he is super duper corrupt. I mean, like, and he is a politician, so by nature he's gonna have some shit going on. But he is not, like, as, you know, corrupt as, like, Mariah or as like even Reyes. Well, Reyes wasn't explicitly corrupt, like, not corrupt in the sense that, you know, we say like Mariah is corrupt or Cotton is corrupt, but corrupt in a different sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, he doesn't seem to be that corrupt, but he doesn't seem to be a good guy either.
Yeah.
Certainly not. He's definitely gonna be a guy that's always looking out for number one.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a politician, of course.
Of course.
But yeah, so the Bible.
So, couldn't find anything in Cottonmouth's Bible because it's so marked
You mean
up.
Diamondbacks?
Yeah, Diamondbacks.
Don't worry, I noticed in my reaction, I said Cottonmouth a lot too.
So, I did want to go back to the verse that Luke got his name from, because I've got a theory about it. So, the verse goes, "The Spirit of the Lord is on me, because he has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim freedom for the prisoners and recovery of sight for the blind, to set the oppressed free." So, I feel like the first two, you can get, like, the Spirit of the Lord is on me. I feel like that's pretty clearly the abalone shell fused into his DNA.
Sure.
Like, the Spirit of the Lord, also, like, immortality, like, all of that feels very Spirit of the Lordy.
Okay.
Then, proclaim good news to the poor. That seems to be his role. Like, you know, he is in Harlem, he's helping the downtrodden.
Yeah, sure.
Now, the last three, I'm not totally sure of.
You got 2 out of 5 good.
Because recovery of sight for the blind. That, I mean, the blind feels very Daredevil-y. I mean,
But recovery of sight for the blind. He's gonna give Matt his eyes back. Hey, Matt, have you met this amazing nurse, Claire?
He could fuse eyeballs into Daredevil's body, giving him the power of sight. And then, with the other two verses, I can't tell which of those would fit Jessica more, because I do think freedom for the prisoners kinda works.
It works for him already.
Yeah. I mean, why would he be proclaiming freedom for the prisoners to himself?
By the end of this, we might, you know, uncover all the corruption in Seagate.
Fair.
And, you know, all these people go free.
Yeah. And then to set the oppressed free. Again, that is kind of what he's doing already.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of one and the same with the good news for the poor.
Yeah.
Recovery of sight for the blind, I don't think is a Daredevil thing. I also not sure how well this actually fits.
I feel like, I mean, the fact that they didn't stop it halfway is what makes you think these verses gotta be important.
What do you stop it halfway? What? You would just say, the Spirit of the Lord is on me, good news to the poor?
Yeah, that's a sentence. That's a sentence. You could have just said that, it would be fine.
I feel like people would know, why did he leave out the other half?
Also, Luke is a long book. They could have chosen anything. Like, this is the writers had to put this in. This is not from the comics or anything.
Yeah, sure. I'm not sure how much I trust the writers.
I mean, there's also what was his name? The blind guy from episode 1.
Oh no, he's gonna give him eyes. Not Ollie.
Oh yeah, Ollie.
Okay, what else about this episode we have? We're not talking about giving Matt eyes.
That's basically it for me. I had a Luke section, but the Luke section is bad. Like, there's nothing interesting.
I see you have. Has Luke always been the hero type? I also said, has he in that scene?
He seems like he's been very intentionally trying not to be the hero type. Like, he doesn't like it.
Yeah, and also, like, if you want to say, well, your actions have been heroic anyway, have they? I don't think so. I would not say Luke has always been the hero type.
Yeah. Like, I would say a normal person who does heroic things sometimes, or who does good things sometimes, is not a hero. Like, a hero is someone who goes above and beyond. Luke, like, if you tell
Yeah.
Luke, hey, some dude said, talk to Luke Cage, and then they stole my wallet, and then he goes and takes their wallet back, like, that is, you know, a little above and beyond, but it's also very much like he's being pushed into it.
Yeah, it's also like, I think like the original Shamik thing is a good example of like, you know, being the hero type. Like, would he stop someone if that exact same scenario happened again now? I legitimately don't know if he would.
I genuinely don't know. Or,
Like, you know, with Spider-Man, it's like that was the big learning point for him. Whereas, like, with Luke, what if that was the same exact scenario happened again? I don't know if he would stop them.
yeah.
He might just again go, I don't got time for this shit.
He stopped that kid from shooting him in the back of the head.
Yeah, but that's
Christmas
just
Addicts.
that's just like stopping a kid from shooting him in the back of the head.
Fair.
That's because he didn't want his cover blown there.
Ah, true.
Uh,
So, I don't think he's always been the hero type.
no, I mean, like, he went after Zip with the guns in that one episode, but that's like the only time you've ever seen him do something proactive.
I mean, that did imply that he was doing it a lot, because Cottonmouth was complaining about it.
I guess, sure.
Like,
yeah.
just walking around and doing that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. But, again, that's not always. That is, he's very recently been the hero type.
Yeah.
Also, when he said, I'm about to get my Christmas Addicts on, that was a good double meaning. Like, it was.
In what other meeting?
Like, him breaking into the Christmas Addicts complex and destroying a bunch of shits. And then the original Christmas Addicts, you know, riots.
Oh, like I'm about to get my
Yeah.
the person. I didn't even take it like that. It's all that. Yeah, definitely makes sense. Yeah,
It works both ways.
yeah. Did not even think about to take it that way.
And it is neat to note that at the end of the episode, like, they could have gone for the full despair, like, oh, the plan worked, everyone hates Luke. But no, like, a bunch of people in the crowd were still screaming, we believe you, Luke.
Yeah, it was interesting because it seems like everybody inside the building understood what was happening. Like, as soon as they saw
Yeah.
what was happening, you know, they knew, oh, we shouldn't be hating Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Like, immediately. Except, everybody except for the man filming it. I don't know why that's the case, but the man filming it, we never see again.
Yeah.
So, but I do have to assume that he was one of the very first ones to leave. So I have to assume that he is just repressing the footage.
I mean, he also may have not taken the footage out. Like, if they were sending the hostages out, they were
No. I'm saying before they took it, like 90% of the
he?
people in the building left before they took any
Okay.
hostages.
Okay.
Like, you know, when they're starting to shoot and everything like that.
Was Phil Man in that crowd?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, in the crowd that left, I don't know, but we never see him in the building after that, so I have to assume.
Okay.
I
I guess so. I wasn't looking out for him.
just thought it was going to be a plot point because he specifically, as soon as everything happens, points the cage up and goes, "It's Luke Cage. There's Luke Cage," and
Right,
then
it's-
films everything that goes down. And then everybody outside, we just have to rely on people saying what happened as opposed
Yeah.
to the actual footage we have of the event. So I don't know if the police are suppressing the footage. I don't know if the guy is just ran away.
Very possibly, because again, he was there for the anti-Luke Cage protests.
Yeah, which
So,
is why, like,
yeah,
it makes sense if he's going to suppress it.
Yeah, if he was being paid by Mariah, she would have just told him don't.
Yeah. So I assume that's what happens, but I'm surprised they didn't get like any, even like a scene of that or something.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. We will see you guys for the next one. Until then, get the fuck out of here.